and welcome to the next video in the CPFT series, Coping with Worry, Anxiety and Depression. This is episode 4, Managing Depression, part 7, Shifting Your Depressed Thinking. My name is Michelle Espley and I'm a cognitive behavioural therapist and service manager of the CPFT Psychological Wellbeing Service. When we are depressed, everything feels dulled, and we see everything through a darkened lens. Even on occasions when we are able to laugh or have a good time, we may find our mind quickly wandering back to our depressed thoughts. It is understandable we feel more negative than we usually would. Low self-esteem and guilt are often also features of depression, and this is likely to mean many of us who experience depression often think and even talk about ourselves in a very critical manner. This can leave us feeling even lower and more depressed, creating a vicious cycle. The worse we feel, the more self-critical we can become, and so we feel even worse still, and so on and so on. These are the type of thoughts that we will focus on in this video. Many of us will have these thoughts, kind of like silently talking to ourselves, commenting on our own actions, ability, appearance and worth. We may tell ourselves we are lazy, stupid, fat, unlovable and worthless in response to even quite minor incidents. They roll off our tongues and through our minds so easily. But let's stop, just for a moment, to consider how anybody may feel and respond if they were constantly being told these things about themselves. What impact would it have if you spoke to anybody else the way that you speak to yourself? It is unimaginable that we would ever speak to anyone else like this because we know how damaging it would be. Yet, this is what we do to ourselves. It is no wonder, then, that we go on to make depressed predictions and assumptions, such as, I'll never achieve anything worthwhile, things will never get any better, or this is hopeless and so am I. To help us challenge this way of thinking and learn to talk differently to ourselves, I want to introduce to you 2 simple questions. First, if you notice that your mind is racing with self-critical thoughts or negative predictions, it can be helpful to think about a friend or a loved one who you care about. Try asking yourself if you would be saying the same things to them if they were in the same situation, experiencing the same emotions as you are right now. If you wouldn't be saying this to them, what would you be saying? Secondly, think about somebody you know who cares about you. Would they agree with what you are saying to yourself? If not, what might they be saying to you right now? When you have had time to think about some answers to these questions, it is then useful to try and start saying some of these things back to ourselves when we notice we are being self-critical or making depressed predictions, in order to show ourselves some kindness and compassion. We may start by acknowledging and validating our emotions by saying, "It is understandable I feel this way. I am struggling and need to cut myself some slack." And then continue by acknowledging that we, like everyone else, are imperfect. This is what makes us human and often contributes to the things that people love about us. We may say, "I have strengths and weaknesses. Nobody is 100% perfect, and equally, nobody is 100% bad, hopeless, or worthless." You can then tell yourself the things that you would be saying to those you love if they were feeling the way you do, and also the things that those who care about you would be saying to you if they knew you were struggling right now. Self-kindness and compassion are important skills to develop to help us feel less depressed. And the next video in this series explores these concepts further. Also, if you are struggling with worrying thoughts too, it may be helpful for you to watch episode 3, Managing Anxiety, part 5, Using a Thought Record. Thank you for listening. I hope this has been helpful. I would like to thank all the staff who have been involved in the development of this video series, from the Psychological Wellbeing Service and the Peterborough Exemplar Project for Cambridgeshire and Peterborough NHS Foundation Trust. Do subscribe to the CPFT YouTube channel to receive alerts when further videos are uploaded, and check out our website for more information at www.cpft.nhs.uk.